Have a look at Square stock, and first of all, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. On 24th, stock closed 2.5% positive at $215 level. But if you look at the stock, this is a daily chart, zoom out a little bit more, you will see that for the past 4 months or so, stock has been downtrending. Well, I didn't cover this stock around these 230, maybe even at these 235. I think that's when I had a position. So I usually don't cover a stock if I have a position, but if I do and if I want to cover it, I just disclose it. So I was short biased. I sold it. I made a little bit of money on this one, and now I don't have a position. So let's have a look at it. So what do I think about this name? So if you look at the year-to-date chart of this stock, it has been extremely volatile, all right? And from its all-time highs of 290, at this point, Square is down around 24%, okay? So let me switch to different time frames just to give you perspective. So this is a weekly chart. And this is a run in 2020, all right? And 2021, I'm gonna switch to monthly chart. You will see what it has been doing on a monthly chart. So if you guys are not familiar with candlestick, I don't have a time to, there are times I can put a few lessons, but a few tricks that you can learn. But this is the most basic thing. So even if you are new, like, spend a little bit of your time to understand what it is. So this is a monthly chart. Every candle represents 1 month of price action. And what I want to say here is that, well, stock this year has not closed below $215 levels. So that was the lowest level back in January. That's when it closed. So stock opened at around 223 and closed at 215. Yes, it did go lower all the way till 196. Same thing right here, couple days, well, yesterday I think it went down to 205 and then we bounced, but it hasn't closed below 215. So why it's important? Well, it is monthly support for me personally. I'm watching at this point. So if I switch to year-to-date chart, basically yearly chart, well, picture becomes a little bit better, right? So look at this drop. So this is 2021. This candle, this whole candle right here represents entire 2021. And you might be interested, well, how much it's down 2021? Well, that's not a lot of downside move at the moment. So year-to-date, approximately at this price, stock is down 4%, so not a big deal, right? And if you take a look at it on a different time frames, or zoom in a little bit on a daily, on a weekly, well, stock is still in a downtrend, especially if you look at it on a weekly time frame. Let's focus what was happening past 4 months is, well, I was watching this downtrend. This blue line I have is a trend line I have been watching as a downtrend reverse, basically the trend reversal. And right here we did get this like reversal, but it wasn't enough and it just rolled over quickly. So still watching that level as a resistance, this trend line to the upside, also as a support from here. Well, there's not much of a support both on a daily, on a weekly, not until 200 and 193. So these are the zones right here where it bounced many times. Well, we might have hit this 205. Well, it was demand zone. So all the way till this 193 basically is a support that I'm watching. To the upside, well, let me zoom out to zoom into the daily chart. Well, I will be watching this 224 where it slipped below 225 to 24 zone right here. That was the support I was watching. I will watch this zone as a resistance now. Stock below all of its moving averages. If you pull up moving averages, 50-day is up here at 245, 244, 242. That's where the 200-day moving average is. So, and also, well, if you guys don't know, they put about 2% of their holdings into Bitcoin, right? Back in 2020, they announced that, well, they put, I believe it was 50 million, 2% of their cash, and their CEO is pretty much the same guy who runs Twitter, Jack Dorsey, I think. So he is CEO of Square, and he bought around the moment they bought, basically. So my point is, it started moving with Bitcoin. So lastly, before we take a look at the option activity, let's put over this chart, Bitcoin chart. So the moment they added Bitcoin to their balance sheet, basically it started moving with it. So now I'm gonna put the Bitcoin chart up here, and let me put it with a bar. So this purple line right here, so let's take a look at it with a candlestick as well. So if you look at the candlesticks, like purple represents Bitcoin, and here's the Bitcoin prices, and then here's the Square prices. What's going on? Just if you're confused with this chart, let me get rid of this as well. So you can see here that, well, whenever Bitcoin drops, well, this is purple line right here, Square drops with it, and whenever Bitcoin seems to rally, it does try to rally with it, drops, it pulls back with it. When Bitcoin pulled to all-time highs, well, Square started pushing with it, and then couple weeks, so basically 2 weeks, well, Square started rolling over well before that because they reported earnings, and I think I don't know what they said on earnings, but they said that the transaction volume was down. I'm not sure. So it started rolling over before earnings, and then well, the rest is pretty much the same. So pretty much mirroring almost to a T the Bitcoin chart. All right. So that's another thing you should keep an eye when you are following stocks that own BTC on their balance sheet. So another thing we should take a look at today, lastly, call volume, put volume. Well, today, Wednesday, November 24th, so market didn't do a whole lot. Volume was down. Call activity 72,000, puts 40,000, very low volume, I want to say. Same thing with the stock. And if you look at the orders that came in, yeah, there are some call buyers. 225, 230 seems to be popular for December, November, rest of November. Yeah, looks like these. Okay, November 26th, my bad. We have 1 day left, so these are going to expire, so we shouldn't pay attention to these. So for January, 210 put, 185 put, 210 put. For December 210 put. So by looking at these orders, there's nothing to say. Pretty much same amount of calls and puts, and volume is relatively low. We'll take a look at it next week, but I'm looking at this stock, so basically in a downtrend, it can go down. I don't think this is a bottom. For me, so the conclusion is that these are the levels 193. That's where I would give it a try to bounce this name. Until then, I'm short biased. But if it does slip even these levels, well, it might get a little bit ugly, because year to date we know this stock is only down 4%. So, but other stocks like PayPal, MasterCard, Visa, those guys get pretty bad. But Square, Well, Square as well, from all-time highs, it's down 20%, but year to date, it's only 4% down. So we'll see what it does, but that's my update. This is a little bit longer than I wanted to make this video, but sorry about that. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next technical analysis video. Take care. Peace.